So normally the Olympic Games is this huge event that has more rules and regulations than your average Reddit sub, but due to the 1904 World's Fair, which was somehow held in the same city at the same time, fair's organizers threw a tantrum and threatened to throw their own cooler athletic event, and so the Olympics had no choice but to move to Chicago last minute. What soon followed is one of the most disastrous and hilarious events in sporting history. One where less than half the runners didn't even finish, 2 guys almost died, and someone got chased by a pack of wild dogs. Anyway, the race was supposed to be 40 miles on a country road, which ended at their makeshift Olympic stadium. This road was completely unpaved, which meant the race officials riding ahead were creating large dust clouds that was going straight into the path of the runners. And to make things worse, the weather outside was a very mild 32 degrees Celsius. Not exactly ideal running conditions. So shortly after the race started, someone found a competitor lying on the road half dead, from internal injuries, from breathing in the dust clouds. Unsurprisingly, most of the runners ditched the race and decided to run their own marathon back home. And it just gets crazier from here. The guy who crossed the line first was instantly disqualified after it was found that after running about a quarter of the race, he went and hitched a ride back to the stadium, waving at spectators and runners alike. When he confidently crossed the line, he was instantly banned for life for competing in any Olympic game again. No surprises. The guy who was actually crowned first place, Tom Hicks, was leading the race for some time, but felt tired after 10 miles from the finish line and started slowing down into a walk. His trainers could see the other runners catching up and were having none of his walking crap. So they fed him their own cocktail of a stimulant called Stretchaline, the main ingredient in rat poison, with brandy. Tom, hallucinating near death and barely able to walk, had his 2 coaches carry him over the line, holding him in the air while he shuffled his feet as if he was still running. Tom had to be quickly rushed off the track, and reports say he might have died had he not been treated by several doctors there at the time. So second place went to a guy who was a French legal immigrant who had no documents or passport. So at the time, the officials were like, you're American now, and just put him down as an American competitor. But my favorite story, a Cuban mailman named Felix Caval, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, joined a marathon at the last minute, wearing only his dress shoes and tacky shirt and heavy wool pants, which he cut at the knees to look more like shorts. This was because 2 days prior he lost all his money and clothes playing dice in New Orleans. Having not slept or eaten in 2 days due to no money, Felix left during the race to grab some nearby apples and have a nap. He eventually woke up and remembered he was competing in an Olympic race, and he still managed to finish in 4th place. Finally, African competitor Len Tao, who was a courier for the military at the time, was chased nearly a mile off track by a bunch of wild dogs. He still managed to take 8th place though, but it was said he could have finished much higher if it were not for the whole wild dog incident. The whole thing was a hilarious disaster. And I could go more into detail about how the 49 of the 94 events were just Americans competing with other Americans, how a German guy with 1 leg won 6 medals in a single day, or how they hosted tug-of-war that year and half the teams just never showed up. But animation is hard for one guy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. Or better still, go and watch some of my other videos. I hope to see you guys at another video at another time. Thank you.